Over 1,000 years ago, the great ruler Alexander made it his mission to meet Diogenes, a thinker who made his home in Corinth. While numerous scholars and important people jumped at the chance to meet the highly respected king of Macedon, Diogenes found greater pleasure basking in the company of his loyal companions, the dogs inside his simple barrel home. It could have been Diogenes' complete disregard for royalty that caught Alexander's interest. When Alexander finally tracked him down in a Corinthian suburb, he discovered Diogenes soaking up the sun. The king offered a greeting and asked if there was anything he could do for Diogenes, to which the philosopher replied, "Yes, move aside, you're blocking the sun." The display of such bold disinterest resonated with Alexander, who admired Diogenes' strong will and distance from societal expectations he expressed to his group. Were I not Alexander, I would be Diogenes. Diogenes' lack of interest towards Alexander's prestige allowed him to preserve his independence and honesty in front of Alexander. Diogenes remained not bothered. He sought neither the king's support nor worried about his potential disapproval. Thus, even with Alexander's immense power, he had no influence over Diogenes. The secret: indifference. Diogenes was unmoved by external judgment, making him unaffected by manipulation. Commonly mistaken as a negative trait, synonymous with insensitivity or a disregard for others. Indifference, as this video will demonstrate, can actually serve as a powerful strategic advantage. We'll delve into the power of such indifference, highlighting 8 advantages to adopting this mindset. Let's explore how indifference can actually be an asset: autonomy and authenticity. Stoicism calls us to a life of autonomy and authenticity, a journey to our truest selves that unfolds away from the ever-present stage of societal approval and disapproval. Stoic thinkers such as Seneca the Younger and Marcus Aurelius advocated for a life that is aligned not with the capricious desires and expectations of others, but with the steadfastness of reason and the unwavering pursuit of virtue. Their teachings encourage us to cultivate an inner citadel impervious to the external whispers of fame and fortune. Seneca's eloquent letters and dialogues remind us that true happiness does not depend on external factors, but rather on our internal state and our adherence to nature's laws. He urged for self-control and the development of personal ethics that define our being independent of societal norms and rewards. Similarly, Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, provided a personal testament to living in accordance with one's principles amidst the demands of being emperor. He demonstrated that authenticity is not about grandeur or position, but about how one navigates the complexities of life with moral clarity and a sense of duty to oneself and the broader community. Emotional resilience. The Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in the wisdom of thinkers like EPICTETUS, offers a profound framework for emotional resilience, a strength that comes from within, forged not by the absence of adversity but through our relationship with it. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them, declared Epictetus, highlighting the pivotal role of personal choice and perspective in the face of life's inevitable challenges. To the Stoics, every difficulty presents a dual opportunity, a test of our character and a chance to practice virtues such as courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. They teach us that our reactions to the world around us are the truest measure of our philosophy. It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but the views we hold about them. In this way, Stoicism fosters an empowering form of indifference, not a cold detachment, but a considered non-reactivity that allows us to meet fortune and misfortune alike with a calm and steady mind. Peak performance. Peak performance, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, is not a byproduct of the relentless pursuit of success, but the result of a composed focus on the present task. Aurelius, who governed an empire at its zenith, embodied the Stoic principle of performing one's duties with a mindful presence and approach that remains ever relevant. The Stoic method emphasizes the cultivation of an internal locus of control, a focus on actions and intentions rather than outcomes. It is the process itself that demands our attention, not the potential rewards it may yield. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations reflects on the transient nature of accolades and the futility of seeking external validation. True peak performance, according to Stoicism, arises from a dedication to doing each task well, with virtue and reason as guiding principles. This form of detachment, however, is not synonymous with a lack of passion or drive. Instead, it serves to refine them. By liberating ourselves from the anxiety of anticipated results, we are able to channel our energy more efficiently into the task at hand. The Stoic performer is like an archer who, rather than being fixated on the target, focuses entirely on drawing the bow with precision. The outcome, well decided, does not disrupt the archer's calm, joy, and simplicity. The Stoics extolled the virtues of a simple life, one that is unencumbered by the relentless pursuit of material excess and the complex trappings of perceived wealth. In their view, true joy arises from an appreciation of the basics of existence, the simple pleasures that life affords to those who seek meaning. Beyond the superficial, Seneca eloquently articulated the importance of temperance and the danger of allowing oneself to become enslaved by the desire for luxury. He argued that contentment springs from within, and that external goods could never bring lasting happiness. This Stoic form of contentment is not a passive acceptance, but an active engagement with life's simplest aspects: the warmth of the sun, the camaraderie of friends, the satisfaction of one's own good deeds. The practice of indifference to extravagance is not about deprivation. Rather, it is a conscious choice. To value quality over quantity, it is finding richness in the natural world, in the quiet moments of reflection, and in the fulfillment of one's duties. By simplifying our lives, we remove the distractions that pull us away from the essential joys, the ones that are often obscured by the chase for more clear decision-making. The Stoic tradition places a high value on the role of reason and clear thinking in the conduct of human affairs. It posits that our ability to make sound decisions is often compromised by the torrent of emotions that can cloud our judgment. Thus, the Stoic principle of maintaining a composed detachment from these emotional disturbances is not an exercise in suppression, but rather in governance of the self. Clear decision-making, according to Stoic thought, begins with the recognition that human perception is inherently flawed by subjective biases and reactions. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations often emphasizes the importance of perceiving events as they truly are, without the added layer of personal interpretation that leads to emotional upheaval. This mirrors the earliest Stoic teachings of Epictetus, who implored his followers to distinguish between what is within our control, our thoughts and reactions, and what is not, namely the external events of the world. This perspective of Stoic indifference is thus a disciplined practice in focusing the mind to sift through the noise of emotional responses, fear, anger, desire, and envy. To arrive at decisions grounded in objective reality, it requires regular self-examination, a commitment to personal integrity, and the cultivation of virtues like courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom. When faced with choices, a Stoic employs a kind of mental clarity that looks beyond the immediate impact of the decision to its broader implications, considering the welfare of others and the common good. This aligns with the Stoic concept of sympathia, the interconnectedness of the universe, where individual decisions are made in the context of their effect on the whole. In practice, this means approaching decision-making with a sense of calm deliberation. It involves stepping back from the immediacy of a situation, allowing oneself the time to reflect, and perhaps consulting with others to gain a more rounded perspective. By doing so, one avoids the pitfalls of hasty decisions made in the heat of the moment, which are often regretted later. Mindfulness and presence. The Stoic practice of mindfulness and presence is rooted in the concept of prosoche, or attention, which is the ongoing vigilance of one's thoughts and actions to ensure they are in harmony with nature and virtue. This Stoic mindfulness is a form of mental discipline that involves being acutely aware of our present experiences and state of being, without the distracting filters of judgment, fear, or desire for something different. Seneca advised that we should seize each day and not bunk on the future to deliver happiness. It is through the embrace of the present that we can truly live a life of meaning and contentment. He, like other Stoics, saw the past and future is outside our sphere of influence and therefore not worthy of the same attention and energy as the present moment, which is the only arena where we can exert real power. This approach to mindfulness is not about disengagement from life or detachment from the world. On the contrary, it's about a deeper engagement with the immediate reality of our experiences. By practicing indifference to worries about the past, which cannot be changed, and anxiety over the future, which is not guaranteed, we free ourselves to fully experience the present freedom from over-choice. The modern world inundates us with a constant barrage of choices, from the mundane to the life. Altering this abundance of options can lead to what psychologist Barry Schwartz termed the paradox of choice, where the wealth of possibilities leads not to greater happiness, but to paralysis, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Stoicism, with its emphasis on simplicity and discernment, offers a potent antidote to this modern malaise. In Stoic thought, the freedom from overchoice is achieved by cultivating an inner citadel of wisdom, a mental fortress that guards against the ecstasies of external variety. This Stoic practice involves discerning what is essential and necessary for a life of virtue and contentment, and then being indifferent to all else. It means prioritizing our choices based on what will truly enrich our lives, which for a Stoic is the cultivation of virtue and living in accordance with nature. Seneca, for example, suggested that the abundance of books and readings in his time could be overwhelming, and that one should focus on quality and meaningful texts rather than trying to read widely. This principle can extend to all areas of life, from our possessions where we might prefer quality over quantity, to our social engagements, where depth and sincerity might be favored over breadth. This Stoic selectivity allows us to bypass the confusion that too many choices can bring. By exercising strategic indifference to the non-essential, we protect our time and our emotional energy, which can then be invested in activities that align with our principles and foster genuine happiness. Reframing failure. In the Stoic philosophy, the concept of failure is reframed from a negative endpoint to a beneficial stepping stone. Stoics believe that the universe is a web of cause and effect, and thus what we consider failures are simply outcomes, neither good nor bad, but opportunities for growth and learning. This perspective shifts the focus from blame and self-criticism to analysis and improvement. Seneca contended that all events are ruled by fate and that it is our duty to face them with courage and resilience. He argued that what we term as failures are actually fated events that provide us with chances to strengthen our character and resolve. Therefore, Stoicism teaches us to approach failures with an objective mindset, examining them without emotional bias or attachment. The indifference to failure that Stoicism advocates is not about not caring or not striving for success. It is about separating our ego from the outcome of our efforts.